Hello again. I'd just like to congratulate you on the retention. There's so many of you who've actually stayed until now, and you actively avoided walking out the front door en route. I think that is testament to the power of this conference today. I have to say this has had the lowest BS quota of any one-day event I've ever been to in the history of my career. By a long way. I'm absolutely delighted about that. I've really enjoyed all of your company today, and also on Twitter. Please keep the tweets coming. We have trended. We're up there with Labour Day in the US and something to do with Honda. Just a couple more thanks. Thanks to the TES for sponsoring this and for that thought-provoking special edition that this event has inspired. And of course, thanks to Tom Bennett and his team for bringing all of us together today. This really is a unique and special event, and it's starting to feel like a movement, isn't it? In a good way. So thank you so much for being here today, and I'll now hand over to Tom.
I prefer the term cult. Sorry, teach first, I've got that one, my apologies. I've got to say a few things at the end of the day. It's been an extraordinary day, although my day has been very different to your day in that I've seen one session. That will relate to something I'm going to mention in just a minute. My day has been cameras and toilet rolls and lasagnas. That's a good day. Your day has been a little bit different to that. One of the things that we can do, that you can do to help me to experience the day that you had, was please take what you've learned today, what you've disagreed with today, what you want to challenge or find out more about, and don't just let it sit with you. Write about it, tell people about it, read something about it, take it into your classroom, challenge somebody in your school, or apply to speak at a future event, start a project, do something, link up with a university, write to a researcher, write to a school. There's loads of things you can do to become more research engaged and more research literate, and a lot of it is absolutely within our grasp and certainly within our power to do so. Teaching and the education profession has been, in my opinion, juiced over the past few decades of autonomy. It's up to us, I would suggest, to take as much of that back as is professionally possible. I will now get off my soapbox. Write about this and blog about it. It's lovely to see people, like I say, spreading this out and sharing it. There have been, as you know, I live on Twitter. And we have been, for me, the only real measure of success in anything now is trending, essentially. Never mind 5 A stars to see, have you been trending? And we've been doing that all day in the UK. On one hand, that's incredibly trivial. On the other hand, it shows what a few hundred people in one building, in one room can do in terms of impact. I think that's a lovely symbol of what people can do when they're pushing in roughly the same direction and speaking about roughly the same types of things, however varied they might be. I need to mention a few thanks to people. This kind of event does not happen by itself. I know it might look like it to some extent, but it doesn't. We've been funded and helped in putting this on by a great many people. ASCL, for example, Unison. The CFPT have been extraordinarily good to Research Ed for the past 12 months in enabling me, ironically, to come out of the classroom a little bit so I could push more of these events. I am still, however, in the classroom, so I've got a huge thank you for the CFPT. The TES, I love the fact that they produced a special edition of TES today just for Research Ed. So the one you've got in your bag will be worth a fortune. Probably right now, but certainly in a few years' time, you could get a mortgage in London for that. So, don't lose it. I'll sign them if you want. But that was great. And also TEDs have helped us loads with marketing and PR and sponsorship. And, anything that's printed basically is, comes from them. So I'm incredibly grateful to them. I don't know if there's anyone from the TEDs still here. In the pub. In the pub, right, great. NAHT have been great. Curie, NFER, these are all, absolutely simpatico with our kind of goals and aims, Blackwell's books and so on. Particularly South Hampstead High School. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think this wasn't a bad venue. I think it was okay. I think it was brilliant. I was terrified at the number of people who might want lunch in what I thought was a smallish area. And it was like processing sardines, they got every one of us through in like an hour. I was delighted by that, but everybody's been so helpful. From the staff that opened up and stayed open till 9 o'clock last night, to the people sweeping up and helping, the cleaners that came in and helped out. I'm so grateful to them. I'm so grateful to the head teacher for catalysing and allowing us to be here. I'm delighted that the trustees of the trust of the school have backed us and supported us as well. As I say, these things don't happen without that kind of support. Also, of course, enormous thank you to the speakers. I'd like to just reiterate, nobody was paid for their time today. Nobody asked. Everybody gave for the good of the profession. I have never worked in an industry where that amount of altruism exists. Granted, my previous industry was Soho nightclubs. I don't like to mention it, though. Thank you. But it's an extraordinary profession to be in. It's one that I kind of hope I'm in till the day I die, which given the post-retirement fatality rates for male teachers, won't be long. And also, I'd like to thank, now this is a bit John Bon Jovi, but I'd like to thank you, the audience. London, you've been brilliant. We have had an extraordinary range of not just speakers, but attendees from around the cosmos. We've had people not just from London, right, but even from Birmingham and beyond. We've had speakers and attendees from New York and from Sweden and Amsterdam, Argentina. I don't know where this man is, but there's an Argentinian attendee here. Thank you very much for coming. And that represents, I think, the growing internationality of the kind of college of thought that teachers are part of, and this kind of international teaching brotherhood and sisterhood of educators, of people who care about the well-being and the brains and minds of children around the world. I think it's a wonderful thing to be part of. I wouldn't call research ed a movement. It's got rather unfortunate associations for me, but it's certainly part of something bigger than itself, and we're all part of that, and I'm intensely grateful to everyone to be here. There's one last piece of crowdsourcing I need to do. I need 4 or 5 strong, armed men or women to stay and help me put some chairs away. Yes, as everyone ducks out the fire exits. But if you could please stay and help me put away the chairs on levels 5 and 6, you will save me an evening of doing it myself. It has been an extraordinary honour and pleasure to be here. I will devour any videos that people have made of some of the sessions. We could only film a little bit of it. Please write about these sessions so I know what happened and what was said. Please tell me what you thought. Please tell me who you think we should have next time. In 2016, we're going to a lot of different places. We've got a lot of big plans. Alex, the designer, is thinking, oh no, that's a lot of late nights. I'll see you maybe in Research Ed 2016. Thank you very much and have a very safe journey home. Thank you. Thank you. That's that.